monitor month, and we're starting off with some pretty cool stuff right here. This is the MageDock MG160-QT01. This is a 16-inch monitor. You know, that might sound small for a desktop, but for a laptop or for something you're going to take with you, throw in your suitcase, travel with, have a second monitor, you know, for your laptop, this is actually really large. So let me just go through the specs and then we're going to have some fun with this. And you know, the prices on these things, they do go up and down. So be sure to go ahead and check in the description. You know, when you click on that, it'll take you and show you the current price. Maybe you're seeing this video a year from now and the prices have changed. So click on that. And if there's any, you know, coupons or whatever, try those out. I'll put whatever I have down in the description. Thanks to Whokeys for sponsoring this video. Now these are OEM Windows keys. That means that you do your own tech support. You're not going to be relying on Microsoft, and they're generally locked to the hardware. We got a coupon code. Click on buy now, put in coupon code TS25, hit apply, and that price comes down. Now when you compare that to the outrageous prices from Microsoft, you'd have to buy this many times to equal the price of one regular key from Microsoft. As of right now, this Windows 10 Pro key will unlock Windows 11. We also have Windows 10 Home, Windows 11, you can buy it directly, Windows 11 Home, and we have 2 flavors of Office. Once you're finished, all you have to do is click on your user account up here, go to your user center, click on My Purchase Orders, just View Keys and Codes, and you can just copy and paste your key, hit Start, type Activate, click on Activation Settings, paste it in there, click on Next, and you will be activated. So head on over to Whokeys.com to get yourself an OEM Windows key at a price that makes sense. This is 16 inches and they say it's 2K, but it's actually 2560 by 1600. It's not 2560 by 1440, meaning that this is 16 by 10, and that's perfect. It's so perfect. That's like, in my opinion, one of the best resolutions when it comes to mobile monitors, and there's a lot of different reasons for that. This is IPS, but this is not like some slouchy IPS. This is 100% of the PCI D3 gamut, so amazing color on this, and it's 144 Hz with a 1 millisecond response time, so you can use it for gaming on the go. Since it's IPS, we do have the 178-degree viewing angle on both sides. Brightness is 400 nits. Let's go through the dimensions. And the weight. I know that's kind of important for something like this. So it's 359.5 by 251.8 by 6.5 millimeters. And it's 100 grams. Above and beyond all that, they were nice enough to send me this so I tested it out myself. This is the Stylus. Now this is the MPP Stylus. This does not, you know, come with it. You can get it if you want. Got a couple buttons here for our different clicks. And then, I mean, it's just a good art stylus. It turns this into an art tablet. So now you can see my skills of an artist. I'm just messing around right here in Sprite. I have to tell everybody that I'm very sorry. I accidentally did an update to my computer while this was not saved and then walked away, then came back and yelled, no! Just as Windows was like closing everything down and being like, are you sure? And I haven't checked yet, but I think I lost it. So this beautiful image that I drew here, it might be gone. But yeah, it's very convenient to be able to have a stylus. You can do whatever stylus stuff, but yeah, it's available because this is a touch screen. Now, if you don't want to use a stylus, you don't have a stylus, you can use your hand. It works like a touch screen. But this, if you're doing like art stuff and you have the buttons here that you can use, so that's handy. It does take a quadruple A battery, which I'd not used before, so I got to buy a quadruple A battery, and I got a tiny little USB charger for that. So this is my quadruple A battery charger. Yay. As far as portable monitors and mobile monitors go, I think this is at least as good as anything I've seen on a laptop, and it's the best little portable monitor I've ever seen as far as like the color reproduction goes and the speed of the monitor. But it does more than that, because a lot of the monitors that are like this, they have those flimsy little stands that you get, the ones you have to fold up into some ridiculous thing, and you've got like this, you're trying to fold it up and then you'll be just like watching something and then it'll just fall over. That's happened to me multiple times. I'll just be chilling and I'll bump the desk and it'll just and you're like, why is this not something more like what we have here? So you can see on the back here we have a metal stand, and it's very sturdy. It's hard to move it around. It's hard to it's hard to do anything other than open and close it. You're not going to have much play when it's like open and standing. So the metal stand, and it's a very firm hinge. So it feels like quality, it doesn't move around, and it just does its job without having that stupid nonsense on the back that kind of drives me insane. All right, now this is an IPS display. So, it's not going to get like the crazy contrast ratios of OLED or something that's more expensive. You do get 1000:1 contrast ratio with very good color reproduction. Now, the blacks are not as dark as on a VA panel, but they do have better color. So that's kind of the trade-off when you're using something like this. And I actually prefer IPS displays. I know some people that prefer VA panels, but I think IPS displays are better for many, many reasons, and another reason is when you're in gaming. So let's go ahead and take a look at these shots here and see how the ghosting is. All right, you can see here around the edge, usually the darker characters you can see, not much. Let's just keep on moving. So what I'm doing in order to get the ghosting is I'm moving my mouse left and right, back and forth, trying to zoom. So you can see we do have some there, the trails, where I'm zipping my mouse around really quickly. This is far better than what you would get with a VA panel, but I've seen some I guess IPS panels that are like 240 hertz that look better, but when you're just running around playing the game and not zipping your mouse all over the place like a crazy person, you won't see this. But yeah, there you do see right in there a little bit of the ghosting there. I've seen some like monitors that have like 5 figures across the screen, but this one seems to just have a little bit when you're zooming around a lot. So I think all in all the ghosting's pretty good. Like I said, the only time I've seen better than this is with like a 240 hertz IPS display. But like as you can see, I'm zipping through here trying to find somewhere I'm like actually swinging. You have to really swing your mouse really hard to get like some crazy ghosting there. These guys you can see a little bit right there. I'm gonna go through a few more. Now the camera might look like it's out of focus. It's because I'm swinging around so much. It's actually in focus. This is nothing right now. So I'm gonna give this a pretty good grade for ghosting. We'll call it a B+. But for gaming, even like high speed FPS gaming, I think it's just fine. And it's a pretty big upgrade for most people who have laptops. Now speaking of laptops, and I guess let's just talk about connectivity for just a minute. So you got USB-C with power delivery, and we also have HDMI. This is HDCP 2.0. We have one of those. And then we have a mini DisplayPort 1.2, which is all you're going to need for 2560 by 1600, because this is not 4K. You don't need mini DisplayPort 1.4 or anything like that. Then we also have an audio port, 3.5mm audio jack right there. It also comes with a power adapter, so if you're going to be using the HDMI, you'll need to plug up the power adapter. Above and beyond that, they've included a USB-C. It's a 3.1 Gen 2 cable and a USB-C. They also have a USB-C to Type A cable, and that is also like, for some laptops, if you just have to use the HDMI like you get an older laptop or something, we'll just plug up the USB-C to Type A, plug it into like a USB 3 port on your laptop, and that will power the monitor. So that's all you need. We also have a cool little storage bag here. It's kind of a soft, it feels like a fancy pillowcase or something, but it's really squishy and soft. So you could just pop it in there and then throw it in your bag and take it with you with your, throw it in your bag, take it with you wherever you're taking your laptop. So one other thing that's really cool about this is on the back, you'll see that there are some screw holes there, and that's a VESA mount. So if you wanted to use this as a second monitor, or even maybe put it on like a swiveling arm that you could use for drawing or whatever, it might be cool for a second monitor on the side where you can like just, I don't know, play games, whatever. So you can put this on a monitor arm or any kind of mount you want as well. So the main thing for me is that, going to be gaming, because it's 144 hertz, it looks good, and doesn't have a lot of ghosting. So yeah, I really enjoy playing some games on this. Unfortunately, I guess my laptop is not fast enough to play Street Fighter 6 with all the fancy things turned up, but I still think it looks good on this. The colors are great. And one other thing that's kind of interesting about like 16 by 10 is, since it's a slightly more vertical resolution, emulators and stuff that's 4 by 3 looks way better on this. I'm torturing you right now. I'm going to make you watch me play an FPS with a controller. This is, I know it's atrocious, but just watch. You're gonna deal with me playing GoldenEye here. But take a look at how this is in the center of the screen there. It makes the game look a lot bigger. You know what I mean? Like you don't have the huge black bars on the side. You do have some black bars on the side because it's 4 by 3, but they're diminished. Playing all your old emulators is going to be amazing on this. And if you crank on the CRT filters, it looks really good, because again, CRT filters, generally the higher your resolution, the better the CRT filters look. All right, speaking of resolution, there's one more thing I want to touch on. Now, this is 2560 by 1600. If you want to run half of that, you can run 1280 by 800, which is a 16, basically like kind of like the 16 by 10 version of 720p, but it's higher resolution than 720p. And I think it looks better. And the thing about that is, like, say you're playing, I don't know, a game that's your laptop's having a little bit of trouble with. Well, crank it to that resolution, And since this is a 16-inch monitor, a resolution like, 1280 by 800 looks amazing. As long as you're sitting back, a couple of feet and whatnot, the resolution's going to look great. So you'll be able to get much higher frame rates because you're running at 1280 by 800 instead of 2560 by 1600. So you're not driving nearly as many pixels. It's much, much, much faster to game at that resolution. That's how I played some of the games, especially some of the faster paced games. I cranked them down to that resolution, and you'll be able to play more modern games on older laptops, and they're going to look really good on this screen. The last thing I want to mention is the speakers, and it has speakers, and I think the speakers sound pretty good. I mean, they're not like, going to rival a custom setup or a pair of headphones, but if you're just going to somebody's house and you're hanging out and playing some emulators or taking this with you somewhere to play emulators and goof off, play some multiplayer games together with your split screen or whatever. Number one, the screen's going to be big enough for split screen since it's 16 instead of like 12 or 14. You're going to be able to listen to the audio. And I think it sounds about as good as a lot of the older TVs, so maybe there'll be a little bit of nostalgia there because it's not like a huge speaker or anything, but it has audio, doesn't sound terrible. We'll leave it at that. It's just kind of a premium monitor, This is not like, a cheap budget side monitor. This is really full featured. This is not like a super inexpensive monitor. This is not a budget monitor. So there's that to take into consideration. This is for people who need extreme color accuracy, want that 144 hertz, want that gaming performance, want the portability, and want to be able to plug it up easily and set it up with a stand. I think the stand really for me was it's kind of crazy because I've messed with these other monitors. I've messed with a bunch of other monitors. The stand is like the thing that feels the most premium to me out of everything on this. Well, the screen's number one, the stand's number two. But if it had like one of those floppy stands and this price, I'd be like, no, thank you. But this price with these specs and that stand, I'm like, okay. And remember 1366 by 768, that's the devil's resolution. Well, 2560 by 1600, that's God's resolution. If you even believe it. So that was the MageDock MG160-QT01. Let me know what you think about this monitor, all of these features, and whatever else. Let me know about that in the comments. But for now, we do have a sale going on. If you come over here, we've got all the shirts that I have on the shelf, and I've stocked a whole bunch more. These are on sale for 50% off. You just need to use the coupon code SHIRTLYNOT. And I've put it on the page here just in case you've forgotten. Right up here at the top. See, it says nothing. Right there, SHIRTLYNOT. Right there's where it says it. In case you forget, just copy paste that coupon code and get that. And we also have some stuff on sale down here. Half price on the controller, half price on this 3360 flawless sensor mouse. So head on over to epicpants.com and grab those while we got them.